Hello, Fred Ack here. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, it is Thursday, April the 17th. It is about 6 p.m. East Coast time. XRP is about $2.09, $2.10. All well and good with me. First up, I'd like to thank you all for being here. I hope you're all having a wonderful day out there. From the beginning of my postings on here, I have tried to profess knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have about things, the more power that you have. So, in the coming postings, I'm going to try to be posting more about other things, not so much keying in on XRP. Although my thought is that many of you are following, subscribing, which I'm happy that you've subscribed. I personally haven't made a penny from this. I have nothing in this except the enjoyment of sharing knowledge with those of you who subscribe. Knowledge is power. Once again, this is not financial advice, just the ideas that are swirling around in my head. The thought process is that I'm going to try to start to add some more stuff to the content on here that is more about everyday life. And as I've said on many of the postings, you come and you listen to Fred Ack, in one ear, out the other. Garbage in, garbage out. That's fine. One thing I can tell you is that this is one and done. I don't script it out. I don't retakes. No. Just and put it out there. With all that being said, and I think I had said it, I thank you all for being here today. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's start out with the scammers. The scammers are abundant. You need to be careful with everything you do. You get a message from someone on your phone, hey, where are you? They just want you to click and respond back, I think. I don't know these things. Technology's not my specialty. I predate the beeper. Cell phone, barely know how to use the thing. One of these days I'm going to upgrade it to the modern world of technology and start posting some interesting stuff. I actually purchased these big white boards to start showing the bids and the offers and understanding the game within the game. That is something that I do know about. And I have tried to transpose some of those ideas from my head over into your head about the XRP, which we'll get into some of that in a moment. But I just want to make everyone aware that I'm going to start to post some interesting things that are stuff about life, everyday life. How to negotiate a good deal, leaving gratuities when you go out to the restaurants, things like that. It's interesting how much I have found that the average person might not be aware of. I'm sure many of you are aware of most of the things that I blabble about on here, but you never know. So my concern is to watch out for the scammers. As I have said many, many times, double check everything. Fred Ack's no guru. Most of the people that buy a swampland in Tennessee or the side of a mountain in Utah, they actually thought they were buying some kind of oceanfront property in Martha's Vineyard or out in California somewhere or whatever. Somehow or other they believed in what they were doing, or they wouldn't have gotten scammed. But you have to be super careful. I see these things and little blips in between some of the YouTube talking heads that I catch them, and I enjoy hearing them. Many of them are on there just looking. I guess they're making a living out of this. I'll make my living out of XRP or day trading the stock market, or playing the Eagles in the Stupid Bowl, or whatever else it might be. The talking heads on here are all looking for your viewership. Check down below. I've got the trading platform. Okay, let's be real about that. If anybody had some surefire system that would grind out profits in Las Vegas or in the stock market or in the crypto world, the last thing, and I mean the last thing they're going to do is sell it to you. The last thing they need is a couple of 100,000 people following their mathematically proven, tested system. You wouldn't tell a soul. You want to keep it a secret. You don't want anybody to find out about it, because once too many people know about it, then it won't work anymore. The genie's out of the bottle. So beware the scammers. I saw somebody about, we want to buy your house. What do you have to lose? Just click below. What do you have to lose? I'm not sure, but if you click below, maybe you're giving them access to your phone or your computer or whatever. I don't know. Don't click anything. Be really cautious with everything that you do. Most dangerous ones are the ones that are like Ronald Reagan, I think, was the one who had said it. We're here from the government. We're here to help you. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. So beware of the scammers. One of the most major posts that I will put out here, if you are an XRP follower, as I am in a big way, is game change. When I post game change, that will mean, and I will have a long diatribe about how the trading game has begun. Right now it's not there. And as many of you that have subscribed and follow the Fred Ag postings know, I don't come on here and tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what I actually think. And going off in that direction, when it comes to XRP or any of the other cryptos, I guess if you look at the online, the listing of all the cryptos, go to the 80th or the 90th or the 150th or the 700th or whatever. If they just disappear and blow away, they just evaporate and they're gone. Except those who actually own it, no one's going to know or care about it. My gut feeling is that a large amount of these things will not survive the shakeout. But I also do believe that if there's a huge shakeout, the evolution is going to be probably to something like XRP. If somebody has something else out there, please post it. I will make a point to glance through the postings, and I do enjoy all the comments from everybody. Even some of the negative ones, get a new t-shirt, comb your hair, shave, do this, do that. And it's all good stuff. And it's actually probably true. So when I post game change, that's when the game is on. By then, it will already be running XRP, if it is XRP. Okay. Now, let's talk about the stock market or anything you might be involved with. Let's say you buy $10,000 worth of XYZ stock or XYZ cryptocurrency or whatever, and you lose half your money, 50% of your money, so you're down to $5,000. The pure mathematics of it all is that to get back to the 10,000 you were at, you now need a 100% gain. You have to double your money to get back to the 10,000 that you were at. That's just the nature of mathematics. And I guess in the big picture of things, whether you bought XRP at 55 cents or $2.55, if it goes to zero and you put $2,500 into it, then you have nothing and it's gone. And that's the risk that you take. So as I have employed on here many times, if you own some XRP, do it with money that you have to lose. You're not concerned about it. But on the flip side of that, let's try to look at it this way. Let's see. You buy 200 of these at $2, $2.10. So $210. Now you own 100 of them. Forget that you even own it. How many opportunities can you find out there to invest $200 in that 5, 6, 7 years from now? Could be worth $3,000, could be worth $27,000, could be worth, hard to say, could be $55,000. At $3,000 for each one, your 100 of them, you got 300 grand. Down payment on a house. You buy a couple of new cars, unless the price really goes up with the tariffs, you never know. Still, with all of that being said, and if it goes to $30,000 each, which could be possible, you'd have $3 million. You'd say, wow, I could buy myself some nice digs with $3 million. Okay, with all of that being said, like like I've said, you can pick any one of the numbers, the number 90, the number 85, the number 95 crypto that's on the list out there. If it evaporates and it's gone, nobody would know the difference. I personally think there's going to be a strong amount of attrition. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to evaporate. I think most of those are the early players for the crypto world. I think those are almost like scratch-off lottery tickets. You're looking to hit it big. Maybe that's the case with XRP. Try to be fair-minded. And I'm also going to say this to all of you who are in the XRP. If there's no functionality to it, no use case scenario, then I don't see what it's worth. Not worth very much. None of them are. Me personally, I think that there's so many things out there on the horizon that could jock this thing upward, that it could just start running. And I firmly believe this much. If the bulk of these trading sites, let's call them trading, are gutting you for 2, 3, 4 cents buying and 2, 3, 4 cents selling, that is hindering this huge. It's a very uneven playing field. Look, let's be real. If you went to one of the local casinos somewhere, or you went to Las Vegas to gamble, and they have this big jar of marbles, they say, look, for $1 you could reach your hand in there blindfolded. If you pull out the black marble, you get $100,000 cash money. Then they find out that that particular casino only had white marbles in the jar. There was not a single black marble in there to pick. That would kind of have a very negative impact on that particular financial venture. There has to be some risk reward in it for people. There has to be the potential to win. Why else would people go to the horse race tracks, the Kentucky Derby, or the casino to play blackjack and this, that, or whatever? And it all comes down to mathematics, and the house has the advantage. In the day trading world, you're at a slight disadvantage, but the advantages that you do have is that you have the ability as the individual to just sit on your hands or make a decision to get involved with something or not. So you have a lot of control of when you want to tip your toes into the water financially. When it comes to the XRP, my thinking about it is that I don't think there's a lot of small individual investors that are in this. I think they have slowly gotten whittled away. I think it's kind of down to the big money people, the big money institutions. They're the ones that are controlling the playing field. But for any of you out there who would like to jump on board and align yourselves with the institutions, and I'll give a kind of far removed example. Let's say you got an offer from American Express. Come down to one of our main offices. We'd like to speak to you. We understand you have a decent amount of money saved. We're willing to offer you, if you want to put up some of your money, we collect 29% usury rates from our credit card holders. We're willing to give you 20% of it. You say, wow, aren't I breaking the law? They say, we have an ironclad legal document that you're not breaking the law. You'll see how your money is completely safe, which it probably wouldn't be because it'd be in the hands of a private company. So if they went Chapter 11 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you'd be tied up with it all anyway. But just to use the analogy, if you were able to align yourself with American Express or Visa or MasterCard and gain those insane returns on your money, it would certainly be something to think about. Well, that's how I look at the XRP thing. You're getting the opportunity to park yourself with the big institutions, with this huge behemoth of a company. 59 billion of them are out there. I wish somehow, some way, if any of you can find out what the short interest is, that would help me out a lot. The short interest. that means you're doing the reverse of going long. So let's say you buy 100 shares of General Motors at, let's just say, $38 a share. I'm not even sure what it's at. When you're long General Motors for the 100 shares, you're looking for it to rise in price so that you will make money. Well, the opposite of that is when you short something. You're selling it first, then you're going to rebuy it to replace it. So if you sell it at $38 on the General Motors, 100 shares of it, and the price starts to drop down to 36 or 35 over a few months or a year or two, it's down to 31. You could buy it back at any one of those low prices and replace the 100 that you are short. And you will net gain the profit from that. For many people on the outside world, until you're involved with it, it's not the most easy concept to grasp. But once you have skin in the game, you learn really, really quickly when it comes to shorting. So it's the exact opposite of going long. When you buy General Motors long, you're hoping the stock rises in price and you can sell it and make a profit. If you short it, you're looking for it to drop. If the price starts to rise to 39 to 40 to 41, $42 per share, you're losing money. And that starts to hurt a little bit financially in the pocket. With XRP, if there's a tremendous amount of shorts, at some point it has to be bought back. And when that information is exposed to the financial world out there, there are things that can come up called a short squeeze. That occurs when massive amounts of individuals and or institutions, and a combination of both, find out that there's a huge short position on a certain stock, or let's just say XRP. Let's just say, for argument's sake, there's some way to know how much XRP has been shorted. So you're selling it at $2.10. You want it to drop in price. So you could rebuy it and replace what you've sold at $2.10. You'd like to replace it at $1.50 or $1.10 or at 80 cents or at 40 cents or at 2 cents. You'd make a huge killing on it financially, a huge profit. So if a tremendous amount has been shorted, that tremendous amount needs to be rebought, to be bought back in. So the short interest level, let's just say on an individual stock, these are people that are buying it. So as the price rises, it's causing more and more financial pain to all the shorts out there, and it becomes a bit of like a feeding frenzy. The price of the stock or the cryptocurrency could rise quite a bit. So I wish I had some kind of access to the short interest on XRP. Maybe that's a suggestion for the Ripple site to show transparency. The one thing I really like about the Ripple group is that the little bit that I follow of it all, it seems like they are very savvy people. The Brad Garlinghouse man, Harvard graduate. I don't think they're in this to try to make some short-term quid, some paper money. They're in this to become hugely wealthy, huge billionaires, like dominant billionaires of the world. And the way that it's going, that may just happen. And as you see the potential for the Ripple company to go public from being a private company, meaning sell their stuff out in shares like the stock market, like Amazon, Microsoft, Ford, General Motors, IBM, so many, Campbell's Soup, so many other different companies that are out there. There will be such a stampede to buy shares of Ripple because the upside is so unlimited. So as I've said at the beginning of this posting, game change. When I post something with the title game change, you definitely want to see that one, because that's going to be underlying why the spreads are down to like a penny, half a penny, a tenth of a penny. That is going to bring in the players. That's going to bring in the volume. If you take the opportunity to look at the chart for the last 8-10 years on XRP since it began, look at the surges that it had. What was it, 2018 it had a surge, 2021, now in 2025, and you'll see on the bottom there's going to be showing for each month how much volume surged. And with those volume surges, the price surged. Does that mean it's definitely going to happen again that way? It doesn't, but it seems that way to me. So, something worth considering that the talking heads out there are not going to share with you is that when the price surged on the first surge of 2018 or the 2021 or the 2025 one, at each interval it was surging with a large volume spike while there was relatively so much left in the float, what was out there, what was floating around, what was in everybody's hands. At each interval there's been more and more out there, yet the price spikes the way that it does. Well, the next spike, I think, is going to be big. Big. As I started out with this posting, the basis of my channel on here is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Hope you subscribe. I only have a small band of maybe less than 3,000 subscribers. How many are future millionaires with me? I don't know, but we're going to go. I strongly believe that. As I have posted, though, if XRP or something doesn't jump out of the frying pan that has a use case scenario that there's need for it, which I can't see how there isn't. People are sending money around the world. It's taking 2 days, 2+ days to clear, spending all kinds of money to do it. This solves the problem. It's called modern technology. Hello! Modern technology. Beautiful thing. I personally think that once this starts to hum along, people are going to jump on board with it. 5, 6, 7 years later, it's going to be an afterthought. I grew up with something called the dial phone or rotary. And there used to be these things called pay phones. You could go in, put a dime in there, and call whoever, whatever. All gone. Many of you might not even remember this. Some of you maybe do. College basketball. There was a time there was no shot clock. No 35 seconds or whatever it is now. NBA always had a shot clock. But college basketball, 4 corners. If you were the huge underdog, you were outmanned, out-teamed, outplayed, you got the lead, with 6 minutes to go, you're up by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pointers. Start burning the clock. Back in the day. Alrighty. Tried to share some different things. Keep an eye on the future postings. You're going to find some very interesting things being posted. I'd like to thank you all for being. Hope you subscribe. Any comments? Love them all. If anybody has any insight on the short interest, any of those talking heads that you follow along, maybe they have a clue what's going on out there. I wish I did. If you let me know the short interest that's out there, I'll let you know how the future of XRP is going to play out, or anything else that has a potential short squeeze coming up. May all your days be winning ones. I want to thank you for stopping by. Thanks.